Only 3 people are on right now. Now 4. It's 9:57 p.m. my time. I'll wait until a few more minutes until we hit 10 o'clock before I start discussing things. We've had a little drama happen now. So that's why I am popping on here. I haven't been online all night because my son and his girlfriend were over here visiting me. So I haven't been on Facebook, and now I have been sent a whole bunch of messages and screenshots of things that are going on. But the one thing, and I've got screenshots of this taken that, let's see, I took it with my iPad. So maybe I can get on with my iPad so I can discuss. No, it's nothing. I'm not on here as for anything that anybody has posted in the group. It's because Earl Avery has threatened me tonight. And he and Carla are trying to get their supporters to now come after me. And Carla, at this very moment, is posting lies about me. I don't know if I can get into this live thing from my iPad, because for some reason my iPad a lot of times won't let me on there. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can post this screenshot of, oh, it won't give me the option of posting a picture in here on this. All right. So what I'll just do for right now for you guys that are on is I'll just read you my messaging back and forth with Earl. Earl messaged me last night at 10:36 p.m. and said, I heard you were talking bad about me, that I shouldn't be trusted. Is this true? And so I responded with, I said, Carla can't be trusted and that you were working with her now. I know Steven trusts you and he doesn't trust her. And so Earl didn't say anything else. And then all of a sudden at 9:32 p.m., which is a half hour ago, he said, I will be talking to Steve. I'm pissed. Steve will not be talking to you no more. And these videos that you're making, I'm going to get Kathleen to stop him. You're against a family. Enough is enough. You're not going to be talking about me or my family no more. We'll put a gag order on you. And so I replied with, go for it. And then Earl said, Steve was right. You are a bad person. And I said, back at you, babe. And so he said, I am done with you, and the family is going to be done with you too. It's all your mind. It's all just mind your own business and keeping your own family. And I said, you were never with me. I've never had anything to do with Earl ever. So that's, he's done with me. He was never with me. So that's why I said, you were never with me. And I said, don't rip off supporters then, and a smiley face. And he said, you're stupid or than me. And I got a 42 IQ. And then he said, I got a 40 IQ and you're stupider than me. And then I tried to respond with, you're adorable, but he's blocked me. So I couldn't respond with that. I don't know if you can see on my iPad. No, you can't. It just shows all white. But I do have screenshots of it, and that I will post. And now I am being sent screenshots where Carla has claimed. This chick Joy says, Carla laughed my ass off. She's so jealous of what we have done for Ma and Pa for Christmas, which I'm not jealous at all. I'm pissed that you're stealing from supporters. That's not jealousy. And so this chick, Trista, said, thank you so much. This crazy lady has been blocked. I don't have time for that foolishness, because they're now posting screenshots of my Facebook page so people can know who I am. And so this chick, Angela, said, documentation of what? Oh, because this isn't the first thing. And Trista says, Carla, and why does it say she's the owner at the Stephen Avery Project? Ew, I don't like her, LOL. And Carla says, documentation of how many shirts were ordered, how much was made, what was spent on everything, etc., which is another Carla lie. We actually did post screenshots every month of shirts that were ordered and how much money was made. It was done every month. And there is documentation of it. So it's another lie of Carla. But Carla never paid me for the shirts, that the money she owed me. And she was told she owed me money for shirts. I'm getting a lot of people that are sending me screenshots of stuff. So I don't know what that means. And I don't know why you're on, Siri, on my phone. Go off. So here's a message request from somebody. Oh. Well, thank you. This person, it's a person I've never even heard of before, is sending me screenshots of complete thread. Sorry. Another one. Okay, so I figured, my son and his girlfriend just left, and I'm like, all right, I'll hop on here and go live with you all, because again, as I always say, I am an open book. So feel free to ask me anything. And I know there's also spies in here who report things back, because, Earl wouldn't know anything about the videos that happen in this group other than people that are in here that are reporting it back to him. So, and you all are the ones that are here all the time. So you can see it too, that or know it too, that I never told people not to trust Earl. I've never said that. I've only said he's now working with Carla on these things. So that hurts the things, in my opinion, for what Earl is doing, knowing that Carla has access to it. So that's first. So whoever told Earl, whichever one of you little spies that are in here that are reporting that back to Earl, that's not something I ever said. Not that I care, because what I've said in here before is I'm not here to be friends with the family. I'm not going to worship the family. I'm, not going to kiss the family's ass. I am here because what happened to Stephen and Brendan is bullshit. And I think they should both be freed, and that there needs to be criminal justice reform. I don't give a shit what his family thinks of me. And I know they're all telling Stephen, bullshit about me, and that Stephen may at this point hate me and not want to speak to me again. That's fine. I personally don't care. Let me pull up Earl's thing again so I can continue to, just to be addressing the things that he said. All right. So I heard you were talking bad about me, that I shouldn't be trusted. Is this true? Like I just covered. No, I never said that. I said Carla can't be trusted, and she can't. And then he said, I will be talking to Steve. I'm pissed. Steve will not be talking to you no more. See, and that's where, everything he's saying here is really confusing to me, because so he says in a post after that, Steve was right, you are a bad person. But right here you go, I will be talking to Steve, I'm pissed, Steve will not be talking to you no more. But if Steve's saying I'm a bad person, why would you need to talk to him? So he won't talk to me anymore if Steven's said to you I'm a bad person. And these videos that you're making, I'm gonna get Kathleen to stop. Well, but see, okay, he writes like an idiot, and so it's hard for me to figure out what it is that he said here, you know, because it's all one thing with no punctuation. And I'll get these screenshots posted so you can see it for yourself. But so I will be talking to Steve. I'm pissed. Steve will not be talking to you no more. In these videos that you're making, I'm going to get Kathleen to stop him. You're against a family. Enough is enough. You're not going to be talking about me or my family no more. We'll put a gag order on you. So, and, you know, so it's that big rambling. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but Kathleen won't have me stop making these videos, and she can't. So, and also these videos are in MAM Gossip, which doesn't even have Steven's name on it. So you can't stop me from making these videos, and I will continue to say whatever I want. And the family puts themselves out there publicly. So like I always say, when you put yourself out there, you're not going to just get love. There's going to be hate, and it comes with it. So just like for me, where somebody else sent me tonight that the Guilters posted a picture of me making fun of me, you know, so like I had done that video on Stephen Avery Project when I'm wearing the orange top hat, because, you know, so it's showing they didn't really pay attention to the video, that the reason I'm wearing the orange hat is because I'm making fun of how they're always upset at what I wear, you know, and they need to rip on what I'm wearing, that I'm not dressed properly. So I wore the orange top hat to be an over the top, showing that you guys are really fucking ridiculous on worrying about what I'm wearing. So here I'm wearing a top hat. Look at this. And so now they're making fun of, like, the orange hat I was wearing was serious, and they're making fun of my orange hat. So, but by me doing these lives, it opens me up to people attacking me. So attack me. Again, I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm this, that, or the other. I don't care. I don't care if anybody likes me. I don't care. And it's not going to stop what I do. You're against a family. I'm not against a family. I'm against people ripping off a family. And that is what Carla is doing, is ripping off her own family. And I will continue to speak on that. And there's nothing that can stop me. So sorry. Even if Stephen was to call me right now or to call me tomorrow and throw a fit, I'm still going to continue to do it, because Carla is stealing from the family. And make me stop. You can't make me stop. I can voice my opinion. And in order to get me to stop, you would have to prove what I'm saying is a lie. So can't. So then his threat of a gag order, they do that all the time. They try to, for some reason, they think that since Stephen has Kathleen Zellner for an attorney, it means that, like, they have some legal power, and they don't. Kathleen doesn't represent the family. Kathleen represents Stephen. And if they're so broke that they can't afford to pay for their own Christmas, where is their legal representation? So bring it on. Try and give me a gag order, because I'll do it right back at you, because I'm being sent the screenshots of what they're saying in Carla's group and pointing people to my personal Facebook page. So So then he had said, Steve was right. You are a bad person. This is a go-to thing. People have said this to me before that, Steven's told me you're a bad person. And so even in my call with Steven, when I told him, people were saying he said that to me. And I told Steven, even if it's true, and Steven has said that to me about anybody, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't change what I'm doing and why I do it. So when I started on this making a murderer path, I had no contact with anybody in the family and never thought I'd be talking to anybody in the family. So, Steven, we're going to tell Steven and Steven's not going to like you. Oh, well, how will I ever go on? I will go on just fine. Thank you very much. And then you're stupid or than me. And I got a 42, the word TO, and then the word is IKIOO. And then he sent another one saying, I got a 40 IQ and you're stupider than me. Is it even possible to have a 40 IQ? I don't know anything about the whole IQ thing, but is it even possible to have a 40 IQ and be a functioning person? And why would you ever say you have a 40 IQ? Here, oh no, it wouldn't matter on there. I have to do it with my iPad because the screenshots I took are on my iPad. So I'll pop into gossip right now on my iPad. I won't post anything with it. Here, I'll just title it Earl's. Come on, iPad. Earl's threat. And I'll do the pictures. I'll post 2 screenshots with it. One will be, which is the thread that I just read to you. And then the other one will be showing how I tried to reply back to Earl and it was declined because Earl, the big tough guy, has now blocked me. So I wasn't able, I can't send him messages any longer. All right. So there are those posted. So I see there's 51 people on right now. I'll start scrolling down here. If you have any questions for me on any of this stuff, because again, like I say, that I've got nothing to hide, fire away at me. I'll answer. Megan says, I thought he was in the group. When did he leave? He didn't leave. I kicked him out. I kicked him out the same day that Carla kicked out Christy Lynn out of her group. That Christy is a moderator in here. So when Carla kicked Christy out, then I kicked Earl out because I'm not going to play this game of you're going to be in this group to watch what we say, but you're going to try and stop people from here being in there. So Shanda says, they don't like being exposed. Amy says, is Earl Carla's dad? No, Chuck is Carla's dad. Earl is Carla's uncle. Earl is, so his daughter is Kayla. Kayla is the one who is the one that Kayla's the one who went and said that Brendan had confessed to her, and then she recanted it on the stand. And then Earl's stepdaughter, Marie, is the one that guilters like to say that Stephen raped Marie. So that's Earl. Oh, and I see people were answering that. Amy says, what is Carla doing that she can't be trusted? She's stealing money and items from supporters, which she has done the entire time. Knock it off. Sorry, dog, no. begging me to go outside, of course, every time. No, knock it off. Go tell him he's home and have him deal with you now. She told me, and I don't even know, let me see if it's in the message when Carla and I were messaging back and forth recently. But when I had talked to Carla recently, when we were to have this truce, I had told Carla the fundraisers, and this was before all these new fundraisers were just made, that I have an issue with all these fundraisers. And so she had told me, I don't know if she told me in a message or if it was because we had talked on the phone. But she told me she wouldn't do any more fundraisers. There's a lot to scroll past because as soon as Carla thought she had her mitts on me, she then started sending me screenshots of all these other people she doesn't like and wanted me to help her with that. And, you know, I could care less of what her issues are with Shaz from the Truth Wins group. That's not my business and I don't care. It's not that one. Because that was one that she started. Group. Where is it? All right. My God. See, here she is sending me more stuff to complain about Shaz. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Sorry, scanning this to see. No, this is all her trying to get me to help with everything else. This is her complaining about somebody else's GoFundMe. Okay, yeah. So in typical Carla, she didn't put it in writing. She said it to me on the phone that she wouldn't do any more fundraisers. And then after that, they started no less than 5 fundraisers. Okay, so Holly's saying, what are we talking about? Someone fill me in. So Stephen's brother Earl messaged and threatened me tonight. This isn't the first time actually that I've been threatened by the family. 2 years ago, Chuck Avery threatened me, sent me a message and told me that it would be wise for me not to leave my house for a while. Don't know what he means on that, but that's what he sent me. But again, I'm still they're not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. If they don't want me to tell people, don't send your money to these people, then stop stealing money from people. So I'm speaking, so this is tonight because Earl is, sent me a threat tonight. And then Carla is posting lies. So Carla is again bringing up the shirts that I've talked about on here before. And actually the shirts were sold through Injustice Anywhere website. And all the money was accounted for that. And we would post, we would transfer the money once a month into Barb's PayPal account and then post the screenshot of the receipt. So all money is accounted for. And Carla, in the screenshot I sent, is that she's now trying to say that my issues with her was because she asked me for documentation and I wouldn't do that. That's a lie. I've asked her for documentation of her auction that still to this day nobody's received their items or gotten their money from. She had nothing to do with the Brendan shirts because when we did the Brendan shirts, that's when Barb hated her and didn't speak to her. So Carla had nothing to do with that. So Carla would not be asking And if Carla had asked me for documentation, which again she hadn't, I would have told her to go fuck herself, because it's none of her business, because it has nothing to do with her. So this is just because they're trying to do their protecting themselves, because I'm on here telling people not to give the money. And it's again funny because I don't post any of this stuff. None of this is on Stephen Avery Project, which is because these people are too stupid to understand anything. When I do these videos or any discussion of them stealing money and all that is an MAM gossip. We don't put any of that on Stephen Avery Project. So if I wanted to, you would put it on Stephen Avery Project that has 178,000 people. You know, and we have 8,000 people in here. What screenshot am I being sent now? Oh, the same one of, because this is what Earl posted in the family fan group. For all supporters out there for Steve and for a reason auto salvage in for Brendan. Jax West is no good to the family. She starts fights, she lies, and she makes videos of the family trying to get the family to fight with each other. All the supporters should do is block her. Which, let's address all this. Jax West is no good to the family. What do I do to the family? I do nothing to the family. I talk about Carla. So unless you're stealing like Carla is, I ain't saying dick about the rest of y'all. She starts fights. What fights do I start? Because I again post or speak on Carla. So what fights am I starting? And she makes videos of the family trying to get the family to fight. I'm not trying to get the family to fight. I don't care what the family does. Do whatever you want, family. Just don't steal from supporters. Don't try and take money from supporters in Stephen's name. All the supporters should do is block her. Block me. I don't give a shit. Oh, and there's a second screenshot. Oh, and now I have a message request. Oh, same person that's sending me screenshots of the entire thread of what's going on over there. Let me scroll through your comments. Holly is asking, what did she steal? Ask Carla what she stole. She's having people send items to her house. Document where all that stuff came from, Carla. What all have you gotten and where is it going? The wish list includes men bikini underwear. So are you telling me Alan wears bikini underwear? Who's that bikini underwear for, Carla? So she's taking items and she's taking money, which she's been doing the entire time. So that's what she steals. Shanda says, how can they even think they can get a gag order on you? Because they're dumb. They don't understand how anything works. They threaten gag orders all the time. And they think they can scare people because, again, we all know that Kathleen is a dynamo. And they think people just are going to think that they have a contact with Kathleen, and they don't. Knock it off. It's driving me crazy that my dog is doing this and my boyfriend is home, and it's like, go by him and go get it handled by him. I'm kind of busy right now. So anyway, So they threaten gag order all the time. So how successful has their threats of gag order been? Do you see Lynn Hartman being quiet? So they can't get a gag order. Not going to happen. So, and then if you wanted to try and get me on defamation or slander, which I've been around that circle, you have to prove damages, monetary damages, to be able to sue for slander or defamation. So what has anything I said in this closed Facebook group, how has that hurt them financially? When you're not stealing any money or anything, right? So how are you hurt monetarily? Oh boy, here's a ton of screenshots I was just sent. I'm going to have to go over all this stuff when I'm done ranting live. Lily says, Casey's only thing is Steven. She does not care about the family dynamics. Right. And now Brad Dassey just messaged me about the whole thing. And I don't know if Brad is on here right now watching. I haven't read Brad's message yet, but I'm sure Brad knows a little about what I'm currently going through. Brianna saying Carla's group. Yeah, Carla's fan group. That's where it's all being posted. Chris says, doesn't Carla have a record of theft, shoplifting? Correct, she does. Why would people trust a convicted shoplifter with their money? What is wrong with these people? Well, and in my last conversation with Steven, it was Carla is to have no contact with the money. The thing that Steven had told me is the only thing for me to promote would be the sale of the salvage yard stuff, because he told me Earl was in charge of that and that he trusted Earl. So that's when we then listed it and promoted it on Stephen Avery Project, which I know brought them a lot of money because of Stephen Avery Project promoting it. And Stephen had approved that because, again, it was Earl, and he said Carla would have no contact with that. Then the next thing I see is Earl with Carla in pictures and such. And then Carla making posts that she and Earl are doing this, that, and the other. So it was like, nope. And I'm not saying it, and I never said it was Earl doing anything. I said it is Carla. And so now that Carla is saying she is now working with Earl on these things, nope, we won't promote it. So that is not me saying anything negative about Earl. It is, again, Carla. Carla is the cancer. Carla is the one that is constantly taking advantage of supporters to profit off of. Heather says, Earl sounds like a door. All he says is, or whatever, every other word. Oh, doof, not door. Denise said, did Stephen actually say you are a bad person? I don't know. I've had 2 people say that to me. All right, I'm going to have to let my dog out because obviously he's not going to leave me alone, and my boyfriend's not going to let me. All right, sorry. So what was I saying? Oh, so 2 people have told me that Stephen has said I'm a bad person. That chick, Sarah, the latest one to be selling the letters between her and Stephen, said that Stephen told her that I was a bad person. And now Earl is saying it. Did Stephen actually say it? I don't know. He could have. Because, like I've said, is that he's going to have, like, one of my messages with Carla when I told her about the fundraisers, that the fundraiser stuff is bullshit. She said, Stephen will hear about this. And so I was like, okay, whatever, I don't care. So you constantly have Carla and her minions trying to tell Stephen not to talk to me. And I'm sure it works. So there is a chance that Stephen now thinks I'm a bad person. All right, so here's my back and forth with Carla. I said, what is going on with all the fundraisers? That's not part of the truth of is you all making money for yourselves. That is what needs to stop. And Carla said, Stephen wanted the one for Dolores and thought it was a great idea for ornaments. Told him tonight about the one that Colette wanted. He still wants one for the yard and for himself. And I said, no, the fundraisers are bullshit. Really? Red Lobster and a vacation for yourself? This is pathetic. And Carla said, he also said no attacking any of us or attacking any of you. You know how they want to help. Because see, that's again how Carla always manipulates things, is by saying, I didn't ask for somebody to do this fundraiser for me. They just did it. Yeah, no, fuck that shit. You know, if you're a real supporter and cared about Stephen, you'd be going, no, I'm not doing dick. Me being on social media does not mean people should have to pay me for my time to be on social media that I'm choosing to do. And so if you have money, you're going to put it in Stephen's commissary. You know, I'm not going to tell people give me money for my time to sit here doing this video. So no. And, so anyway, so then I responded with, I have done no attacking. He also said you were not to pocket any money in his name, but you sure as shit aren't following that. And Carla says, it's not in his name. This is something they want to do for me. They want to do for you because you do that. I'm Stephen's niece. I'm Stephen's niece. I'm family spokesperson. If not for Stephen, nobody would want to give this loser any money. So it's in Stephen's name. That's the only way people would want to give Carla anything. And I said, drop the act. I know what you do. It's pathetic. And she said, we had agreed to no attacking both ways. And I said, we agreed you weren't to pocket any money. That is what Stephen told me. I told him I only go with this if you do your end. You're not. You instantly start how many fundraisers. It's total bullshit. And Carla said, Stephen wanted one for Dolores, anything to help her. He never said individuals couldn't start one for me. See again? That's her manipulative bullshit. Yes, Stephen wants Dolores taken care of. So that's how Carla is manipulating on that end. Oh, send this stuff for Dolores, but send it to my house. Send it to my house. Because, I'm going to have Christmas at my house with my minions to come here to get a free little trip. Let's celebrate with the minions and have supporters pay for us to have a catered dinner. And, yeah, send all these items to my house. And I'm going to go through and go, ooh, I would like to have this. And we'll give Dolores that. Yeah, that's the ticket. Mm-hmm. And so I said, you're always the semantics queen, aren't you? How do you live with yourself taking advantage of people the way you do? And Carla said, how am I taking advantage of individuals? I didn't start it and not pushing anything. Because it's always, oh, poor victim me. They just know how hard I work doing this Facebook page, that they want to do something nice for me, but also not including that you're having people send you stuff that they think is going to go to Dolores and you're pocketing it like you did at the auction. And I said, yes, I know, poor is you. You're just so helpless and so overworked. Just stop. You know this shit doesn't work on me. And so she said, whatever, Stephen will hear about this. Of course, Stephen will hear about this, of course, and I don't have time for this, because that's what she always uses. She tries to pretend like she's so busy. She's so busy, and she works so much. And, oh, and now she's just taking care of Dolores. Now, mind you, was she doing any of this stuff for Dolores before Making a Murderer 2 came out? Nope. But she is not, because she knows that's the way to get to supporters, that she's being nice to Dolores. And then she had ended with, I need to get Dolores to bed. She's not doing anything with Dolores. She's going to go over there on occasion so she can have some kind of photo op to show people, to make it seem like she's helping Dolores. And so then I responded with, ooh, you scare me so. Such a saint you are. And that was my last communication with Carla. Let me scroll with what people have said. Oh, I haven't replaced the battery in my mouse, and now it's acting stupid again. So I can't really scroll. Stupid mouse is broken. Here, let me see. I'm doing it on my laptop. I can't get that to work either. Oh, there it goes a little bit. Chris says, let's not forget Carla is friends with a lot of very verbal guilters, aka Rich Donovan. Why would a family member of the guys be friends with people who slander their family? Her motives are not in the right place, very obvious. Yeah, isn't it really funny how I am made to be the enemy, where all I do is want to, I would love to help Dolores if I knew the money was actually going to Dolores. I've gone there and visited Dolores and gave her money in cash. I have done various different things for the family. All I say is, don't let Carla steal from the family, and that Scott and Bobby are guilty. And Carla wants to defend Scott and Bobby, which in defending Scott and Bobby, she's hinting at that Stephen is the one that put the porn on Bobby's computer. And by protecting Scott and Bobby, you are hurting Brendan and Stephen. But again, this is Carla. I'm only speaking on Carla. So I'm the bad person, but Donovan, who has wished death on Dolores, she'll be friends with. Hug him, have him at the rally. Oh, yay. And then she'll do well, I can't control people. Woe is me. I can't control people, and everybody can think what they think, except for me, apparently. Oh, sorry. Trying to do this scroll thing on my thing that doesn't work well. Crystal says, why in the world would any family member besides Stephen's parents be even thinking were entitled, or that people would want give any money or things, etc.? Because those fans want to help in any way they can. So they look at Carla as being the family spokesperson. So let's help Carla. So those people, they just want to help. It's Carla who's taking advantage of it. So and so Carla just does oh, shucks. I didn't ask for it. They just wanted to do this for me. So if she was somebody who truly cared about her wrongfully convicted family members, she wouldn't be accepting money for herself. She wouldn't be taking items that people think they're sending to Dolores. She wouldn't have an auction where they kept items and they charged people to be on her property, and that she took a cut of that money first before then she divided up some money and gave some to Stephen and some to Brendan. So never saying she steals everything. She takes a cut. So Stephen and Brendan are sitting in prison. She's got her freedom, even though, you know, she's got some sticky fingers and steals from stores. But she thinks people should be doing stuff for her. So like when Making a Murderer first came out, she had a GoFundMe for, not a GoFundMe, okay? Let me correct that, because again, she's a semantics queen. It was a You Caring fund for her to go to a spa. Oh, Carla should go to a spa because, you know, she's so put upon. So let's take care of Carla. Poor Carla. So whatever. Again, I'm not doing anything against the family. I'm doing it. I'm speaking out on Carla ripping off supporters in Stephen's name. And anybody in the family that wants, you know, keeps telling me I need to stop, I won't stop. So, but the one thing that I do is it is in Gossip, which is a closed group of 8,000 people. I don't put any of this on Steven Avery Project of 178,000 people. Can you let the dogs back in? Because I already had to get up and go let them out while I'm trying to do this. That's where it stands. And if any of you here are going to be upset with me because Earl is mad at me or Earl is getting Stephen mad at me, that's fine too. You know, feel free to leave the group. She's not out there. She didn't go. So, you know, go into Carla's group and go pay Carla. You know, have at it. But I'm going to call it out every time, regardless of, like I said, if Stephen calls me tomorrow and screams at me and carries on, I'm still going to do what I'm doing. Ooh, I was able to scroll a little bit here. And then it stopped. Oop, there it goes. Denise says, they say guilty dog barks the loudest. Sounds like they have a dog pound going on. Let me try and scroll. I really need to change the batteries in this. Oh, so now somebody sent me saying Carla's people are going to report Steven Avery Project as a scam, is what they're currently discussing right now, to try and get Steven Avery Project taken down. Which again will be funny because if you look at the page, it only discusses the case. It doesn't go into any of this stuff. So that's hilarious. Jean says, remember like 2 years ago when the family page was hacked and taken down? Could you please explain why that whole thing happened? Because Carla did it. Carla and her minions in the middle of the night opened it up and put guilters in there to run that page. And so then what those guilters did is, because you can't delete a page that has a whole lot of people, you have to get rid of all the people, all the members. And so the guilters then just kept kicking people out to get it down to that low number. And then the other thing they did is they kept changing the name of the group to these wacky things, you know, to be anti-family. That was Carla's doing, to take down that family page. And that's not the first time that Carla has done that. So yeah, it's kind of like her go-to thing. Lily says, I was part of that group, and when someone was asking about donation stuff, I said, please be careful to donate, order things directly related to Ma and Pa or Stephen and Brendan only. As it has been reported on good authority, some family members have been known to dip. I got jumped on, and then guess what? The whole post was removed. Nothing dubious there. I left the group. They have their hands out too much. Chris says, it's very interesting how they all have become combative just recently. Seems to be timely when all the GoFundMe nonsense started. Wasn't like this until money was involved. Well, and it's all they care about is money. Holly says, what the hell? That's a shame that she's doing that. Shelly says, now why would I want to buy an Avery salvage shirt? Ooh, I wish this would work. Sorry, it now scrolled way too much and I lost that post. How can I get this to go small? I can't get that the rest of that thing now. Taylor says, I know there's only 50 of us, but I think the best way to help is to spread the word where exactly to donate to. Holly says, no offense, I would never send gifts to the family. I don't understand why people would. It's a page about their family member being wrongly accused. Shit is crazy. The page that Carla runs is not a page about Stephen and Brendan. It's a family page, meaning and they even say family support page or something like that. So it has never been about supporting Stephen and Brendan. It's about supporting the family. And Taylor, I understand what you're saying, but like the thing that I do on Stephen Avery Project is we just don't discuss it at all. I've told people the places to donate are on there, and that's all I'm going to do. I don't discuss any of this family bullshit. I keep that just in here in this closed group because I don't want to make it the big deal. And like the people that go to Stephen Avery Project, they don't want to hear about all this stuff. They don't care about all the bullshit and all the drama. Whoops, God. I really, really, really need to replace my mouse so I can do this properly. Deborah says, do you talk to Brad, Earl, Carla? Do you talk to Brad? Earl, Carla, and even Kratz are going at him. Well, Brad, I know, has messaged me while I've been live on here. I haven't read it. And I also see that Brad is posting comments all over on Gossip right now, so I know he's on here. I don't really have a relationship with Brad. We have messaged occasionally over the years. But I know what they do to Brad. Christy says they are having Red Lobster for Christmas dinner, LOL. Oh boy. Let me try and scroll down. Nancy says, why would you do that? I would give up my job to go help Dolores. Taylor says, you are crazy if you think Carla isn't paying visits to Ma and Pa and pocketing any gift card, pack, or paper towel, tub of laundry detergent. You can bet your ass she steals from those poor people. Yeah. Shelly says, if people want to send money, send it to Kathleen. Kathleen can see that the parents of Stephen get the money. Let me try and scroll again. God, I cannot figure out how to do this. Miley says, does your boyfriend ever go live with you? Not really. He's standing right here. Here. Just say hi.
Who are you?
I don't know if you heard him, but yeah. So he's right there, but no, he doesn't. He sometimes when I've been live, he will interject things because, you know, when I'm accused of the stealing stuff, that's accusing him as well because he's the print guy that did all this stuff. So like with Carla just tonight saying that she had asked me for documentation and I refused to show it to her, which again never happened. That's something that Jeff.
I posted documentation live. The actual
Come over here where they would
I
be
will
able
do no such
No, not on camera. Come right here where they'd hear you better. I'm not saying you need to be on camera, but here, listen. Jeff is the one that did the whole PayPal thing. Go.
I posted the actual transactions of every deposit that went to Barb for the sales of the shirts.
Right.
It was posted.
Right. I know.
And then they still say, well, prove it. There was literally the transaction number of the transfer. And yeah.
Right. So, and as I said earlier on that, when we were doing those Brendan shirts, that is when one of Barb Hates Carla things. So Carla had nothing to do with those shirts.
The only stipulation was the $400 that we handed her in cash that she denied for 2 years and until recently saying, oh, yeah, they did give me that.
Right. Yeah. Because
As far as any shirts that went to Carla or Carla's Angels or anything else for the family, they never paid a fucking dime for any of it.
Right.
So
how much,
in order for there to be documentation, they would have had to have actually paid me something.
out of everything that you have printed that you were not paid for that is Avery related, how much money would you say you're out?
$8,500 because I kept track.
There you go. $8,500. Okay, so on those shirts, and we've discussed it before, there were 2 shirts. And one, the money was going to Barb that was supposed to be going to Brendan. And then one was going to be going to Brendan's lawyers, right? So the shirts didn't sell well. I mean, you see when you're in their group, they, the people that are actually contributing money wise, it's not a whole lot. Now Jeff just went, Jeff, because I don't remember this shit and he all did it. If I can get him back up here. So I don't remember the exact amounts that came in, but so the money that came in for the shirt that was going, the profit was going to go to the lawyers. A whole lot didn't come in for that. And we did this, I think it was 3 months that this was done. Jeff! He must be all the way down in the sub basement, so he can't hear me. So the lawyer shirt, we waited until the sales were completely over. And so then I had asked Drizzen, how do I get this money to him? And because there was no way to deposit it like online to, whatever. So I was going to have to write a check or whatever and send it. So I asked him where to send it to. And he asked how much it was. And it was 300 and change is all it was for the lawyer shirt. And he said he didn't care about it. That it wasn't a lot of money. He didn't care. So then what I did with that money is I had gone to Barb's house and we had done a Facebook Live where I was the moderator. And so when I showed up at Barb's house, I handed her $400 in cash. I rounded it up, so she didn't get the 300 odd whatever dollars. I handed it to her in cash. And I had even joked on going, maybe I should wait until we go live and give this to you on camera so people see that I give you this money. And so then for years, I was accused of stealing that money. And that's where people then contacted the Attorney General and my local police department because they had contacted the law school that Drizzen is from, and they asked them if they ever received money from me, and that person had said no. And so then Drizzen messaged me and he said, and I should look up that email. Maybe I'll do that after I explain all this and can read to you exactly what Drizzen said to me. But he had said that, look, somebody's calling the school here asking about that money. And I'm not going to respond to him. And I suggest you don't either, because he didn't want me to blow up about all of it. And so these people, led by Carla, just kept accusing me that I had stolen that money. And then when the rift happened between Barb and I,
Drizzen also said they didn't want the money, just give it to Barb.
that's not what he said, but I did talk about that. He said, all he said is he didn't care about the money.
Right.
I then determined, but wait, I was calling you before. How much money total came in for shirts, period? Oh, I thought maybe you might remember. Because I was explaining to people too that it wasn't a lot of money that came in. Because the money we gave Barb for the lawyer shirt was $400.
Yeah, there was $400 for that, and then there was 2 PayPal transfers of $300 something. So $1,000 they got from shirt sales.
Okay, so $1,000 is around is what Jeff is saying. But I do think I have screenshots saved somewhere of the receipts that Jeff had posted of what was transferred to Barb. So anyway, people had kept accusing me of being of stealing the shirt money, and then not that long ago, just a couple of months ago, Barb posted that I didn't steal any money and I had given it to her. I have no idea why, out of the blue, all of a sudden one day she said that, and I do have a screenshot of that as well.
Yeah, but then there was Snodgrass and a couple of the others that were claiming they never got shirts, even though I had tracking numbers on it because I sent everything USPS.
Right. Can you give me a battery because my mouse won't work? I'm sitting there on the counter or the table right there. Sorry. Game off. Trying to put a battery in my mouse so I can scroll with your comments. Goes this way, I think. I can't work this. Does it work? No, it does not.
Is it lit up? No, better go.
All right, we'll go this way. Jeff's trying to fix it since I'm an idiot and can't do it. All right, so Denise says, like, Steven doesn't have enough to worry about. Carla's going to worry the hell out of him, tattletaling, LOL, geez. Let me see. Does it work now? Yay. Nope, it doesn't. It froze again. So something's wrong with this mouse. Doesn't work. Let me try and scroll down using this. Heather says, doesn't Steven have fatter fish to fry than this drama? Yeah, but he'll get involved in it. He'll especially with now Earl being upset, Steven's gonna be pissed at me. Denise says, Carla is cherry picking what she wants from the donations. Yeah. Addie says, this is my first time watching a live stream. What so we talk about on here? Well, this live I'm going on is because people, I was threatened by Earl Avery tonight, and Carla's going on and on telling more lies about me because she's trying to cover up that she's stealing from supporters. Addie says, do we know if Steven will get out anytime soon? No, he will not. Me and my wife watched Making a Murderer, and we're halfway through season 2. No, mouse doesn't work. It's great, but very frustrating show. Him and Brendan should be free. Yeah, neither one will be getting out anytime soon, Addie. People replying to each other. Kelly says, I sent them money 3 years ago, and one day for no reason whatsoever, I was blocked from the family group. It's the most dysfunctional thing. Well, Kelly, if you were in any of my groups, that's what they do. They regularly look through the members and will block them if they're in their group too. Let me try and scroll down. Sydney says, does using aluminum foil on batteries work to help your mouse? I don't know. And just like I did yesterday when I went live, I'm going to tell everybody at this moment, if you're offended by language or whatnot, please don't look at the camera right now, because I'm reading Christy's comment saying, who are you? Are you related to the family? There you go, Christy. And for people that are new, it's because every time I go on, I am asked a million times, who am I? Am I related to the family? I'm trying to scroll again.
I wish we were related to family. We'd get all this money.
Yeah. Amanda says they're saying so much on the family page. It's crazy. It started with Earl. Yeah, I know. Corey says, I've donated directly to Brendan and Steven's books, would never, ever, ever donate to those people. I think it's disgusting with what they're doing. Doesn't even Steven see what they are doing? I mean, he's got to know. He knows Carla steals. But bottom line, for Steven, family is family. So I'm going to be in trouble. Denise says, tell him thanks for letting the dog in. And sorry, when I'm doing this scrolling now through my laptop thing, it's now jumping, so I'm missing people. Miley says, you two must have good talks about all this. Yeah, right. Miley says, holy cow, that's not chump change. Yeah. Amanda says, Earl and Carla have been requesting wish lists for themselves personally recently. Someone made a comment about let her at you, threatening you in the post Earl made earlier. Tiffany says, is Kathleen still working on the case? Yes, she is. Somebody said something, but now it scrolled too far and I missed it. Shanda says, I want to be nosy and look at their pages, but I have a hard time keeping up with Stephen Avery project and things. I can't see the whole thing of the post. And MAM gossip. Yeah, I get ya. Holly says, they said you bought the SAP page. Yeah, I know. They like to throw that out there all the time because Carla was desperate to try and get this page from Curtis and was so upset that he wouldn't give it to her. Tiffany says, awesome. It's bull crap the way they done Stephen for most of his life, and poor Brendan. Such a sweet guy. He just wanted to go back to school and said what they wanted to hear. Again, told them that to leave. Yeah. Amanda says, I'm losing it right now. I'm so upset. I don't know what's going on right there. I can't scroll over to that screen to see what's going on there. Oh, I guess I can pull it up on my iPad. I have been beat up by Carla and her minions and Barb and Scott for years now. I am used to it and I don't care. Let me see. Oh, I would have to read a bunch of screenshots right then, and I'm not. So I appreciate, I understand what you're saying, that this gets you all mad and, could get you all mad and upset if you believe me to see what they say about me. But just know, I mean, and I know you people, you don't really know me. So, but pretend you do, I guess, and see that I'm not even upset. There'll be at times when I'm saying things that, I get really animated in what I'm saying, and I always have bad language. So swearing isn't a good thing to tell indicator of if I'm upset or not, because I've got a bad mouth. but I don't care what they're saying about me. I don't care if they get Steven upset at me and Steven doesn't talk to me. I don't care, because I'm still going to stand by what I believe in. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And them taking money from supporters for themselves is wrong. If the money was going, all the money was going to Dolores, yay, I am thrilled with that. I want Dolores and Ellen taken care of. Steven wants the salvage yard saved. So if I knew that they weren't, that this money is going to 100% help the salvage yard, yay, I'm happy for that. But Carla ruins it all because she's constantly dipping into there. Isaac says, I can only imagine what Kathleen thinks if she hears about all this fighting between everyone. Geez, Kathleen wants no part of any of this. None of it. She's doing her job, and all the family, because all this family drama has happened the whole entire time. So, she's not going to get involved. Because again, Lynn Hartman still goes out and says everything everywhere. You would think if anything was going to be done, if Kathleen was going to do anything, you would think Lynn Hartman would have been somebody that would be gone after for what she has done. This is a closed group called MAM Gossip. So nothing you can do about MAM Gossip. I don't put any of this on Steven Avery Project. I know I keep saying all this. Same stuff over and over again. Let me try and scroll here. Paul says, I feel sorry for Steven and Brendan, but man, they will need to leave the family when it comes to the money when found innocent. Yeah. I don't know what will happen to Brendan because of Barb and Scott, depending on what Kathleen is able to prove and what comes out. I hope Steven will be able to just go off with his parents and, live his life the way he wants, and these people all fade away. Trying to scroll. Laura says, due to all this nonsense, are you going to give up the PG? I hope not. It's the only one I follow, and you tell the truth. Oh, the page. Sorry. No, I'm not. Steven Avery Project and MAM Gossip and everything will still continue on as it always has. But I do know people have shown me. Is that my cat running across the yard? Hold on. I don't know if that was my cat or was a coyote, because it seemed kind of big. They're instructing people to report Steven Avery Project to Facebook, to try and get it taken down. So, that's what they're trying to do. Tiffany says, I keep up with this page. Please continue. You give it straight. Steven will not be mad. You are truthful. No, I'm pretty sure Steven will be mad. Because Steven the last time I talked to Steven was he wanted the way he worded it is he said the negativity between the pages need to end. And so he had never asked that before. Because every time I've been talking to him for the last 2 years, he's always talked shit about Carla to me. So because he asked me that, I said, all right, have Carla call me, but she's got a, this money thing. And he said, no, she would not have any contact with the money. And so he didn't tell me, so at that time, there was no talk of setting something up for Dolores or any of that stuff. He told me that salvage yard merchandise, he said Earl was in charge of that and Carla would have no contact with that. So he said that was okay for me to promote. So we did. We listed it on Stephen Avery Project, and I talked to Carla the next day. And then when I did a Facebook Live on Stephen Avery Project where Carla was there then now she was answering people's questions and stuff. So she was in her element because, she wants the attention and everything. So I did that, even though I hate the bitch. I mean, I haven't even gone through a tenth of the stuff that Carla has done. But, all right, I'll do this, the negativity between pages will end. And then the next week, they have like 5 new GoFundMes. That's not what was discussed at all. That was no. And Carla had said to me, and now, like I said, it's not in the writing. It's when I talked to her on the phone when she told me she's not going to do any of this GoFundMe stuff anymore. And then there's all these funds, even though I said that is my issue. Because Carla knows I know she stole money. So, and that's why I always tell her, cut the shit. When she's talking to just me, but she knows, because she's also a screenshot queen. So she wants to make sure that there is nothing in writing, that there won't be a screenshot to prove she said this, that, or the other. So, but I'll always say to her, cut the shit. I know she took money from that camp out and the auction and all that. I know. So don't try and tell me, this shit, because I know the truth. So, Corey says, who is Lynn Hartman? Lynn Hartman is somebody who used Stephen, and Stephen fell in love with this chick, and then she just used him so she could get on Dr. Phil and make money off of that and sell stories to different places. Somebody else was already answering that. Let me try and scroll down. Tiffany says, man, that's a lot of snow outside. What state are you in? I'm in Illinois. I'm in a Chicago suburb. And it's not as much snow as you think. There's a retention pond that's across the street from me. So it's this big field. So while it's looking like a lot of snow, it's a hill there for the retention pond down. So that's why it looks bigger than it is. Amanda says, do you and Laura Keck communicate? Hell no. She said some really nasty stuff about Brendan. And no, I didn't find it funny. And she's like, it was just a joke. And it was sexual in nature and stuff. And I don't find that funny. And a lot of the stuff that she does, like her YouTube thing that she does where she talks about the thing, is her trying to get money from people. And I just don't dig it. I don't dig people that are constantly trying to use this case to put money in their pocket. So, and that's what I've said before, of me doing this Facebook Live with you guys is no different than them having their YouTube things. But nobody's paying me to do this. There's no ads here. And there's no, I take donations from supporters to help me with my research to do these videos. None of that. I make no money off of any of this stuff. So no, I have nothing to do with Laura Keck. I did it one time, but I just got tired of her bullshit. And so she actually talks shit about me now too, since and all I did was delete her. I had enough and, didn't want anything to do with her. I didn't post anything negative about her or any of that. And so then she started talking shit about me. And Christy, yes, Lynn was on Dr. Phil. People responding to each other. Paul says there is Sandy and there was Lynn. Sandy was the one who was still his friend, who was with the family later in the season. Yeah. Tiffany says, okay, well, he might be mad, but he will get over it. Life's too short. And with his luck, being away from friends and family, he will get over it. He may not. Because for Stephen, family is important. So, to him. So he and Earl are on good terms right now. So, but that's not always the case, because remember, there was a time that Earl said Stephen was guilty, just like Earl said Stephen was guilty the first time. So, so that family really goes through a lot of, they like each other, they hate each other. So, whatever. So, like I said, I may never hear from Stephen again. Deborah says, Mrs. Avery wouldn't even know what's been sent to her because from watching, her memory is starting to go. When I visited Dolores, it was right after, not long after Kathleen's last filing. And so I had mentioned to her about Bobby, and she had never heard of it. She didn't know any of that. So I was like, and so then I was like mad at myself, because it's like, oh, I just assumed Dolores knew that, because this was also in the last filing of how Barb talked to, who did Barb talk to? Was it Dietering? I can never remember which. Was it Dietering or Uyghur that came out of retirement, and that she gave them her computer? Dolores didn't know. So Dolores doesn't know a lot of what's going on, and she doesn't have internet, and for the most part, none of these people talk to her. The only family that really looked out for her was Kayla. But now since Making a Murderer 2 came out and Carla wants to be relevant, and she's not on Stephen's visitors list, Dolores is her in to people's hearts to show that, oh, now she's doing something with Dolores. But, where was she taking care of Dolores all this other time? Betty says, I don't like Barb or her husband. Why did she take Brendan's TV out of the box? It's Brendan's TV, not hers to use. I don't trust her. Yeah, that whole thing, I didn't get that when they went and bought stuff for Brendan when you didn't know for sure he was going to be coming home, and all the weird stuff that happened, period, in the case, that it's just dumb to buy that stuff. So like the TV and that gaming system and stuff she bought, this stuff with electronics on how fast all that stuff is. Oh, it's state of the art. Oh, now it's obsolete, So that was just dumb to buy that stuff. I didn't get that at all. Corey says, why not make money though? Your page is the biggest. Facebook page is the biggest. Facebook has to ask you for ads or no. Yes, we Facebook regularly messages us wanting us to do targeted ads. And then we get people who message the page constantly, either wanting to buy the page or wanting to buy ads to go on the page. And we turn that all down, because this is not about making money. It's just not. It's bringing, and with all the wonky stuff that happens with the family and all that, it's like, what do I do with the money? And then you see how they always accuse me of stealing money anytime I try to do something for the family. So say I was to start putting ads on the Stephen Avery project and say, I'm going to put it in an account to give to Stephen when he gets out or whatever, they're just going to accuse me of stealing that, just like I accuse Carla of, so it just makes it this weird thing. And so, no, we do at Stephen Avery Project, we do not take a dime. There are no ads on here. We don't know. We don't do anything. I don't sell any shirts. I don't do any of that stuff, which I've talked about before. My boyfriend owns a print shop. I could make a Stephen Avery Project shirt tomorrow and start selling it. Never done it. You know, I am considering that I'm going to make a shirt to make money for the Kaluzinski family, another one of Kathleen's cases, and that I work with that family because that family is not the Averys. And I know from dealing with several different wrongfully convicted cases in families that families don't act like the way these Averys do. I'm trying to fleece supporters out of money constantly. It doesn't happen. So I get what you're saying, Corey. But it's just so, everything's so sketch. Oops. I keep going for my mouse. Crystal says, I thought that the TV and stuff was sent to Brendan. No. Okay. So Brendan does have a TV in his cell. So Crystal, there's two different things there. It was when his conviction was overturned, and I can't believe that the people Brendan is surrounded with really did this, but they led Brendan to really believe this is it and you're going home. And so Brendan gave away all his possessions, including his TV. So supporters did replace his TV there. And then Barb had spent GoFundMe money to buy stuff for his bedroom. So that was two different things. Why is this so weird too? When I hit the thing here to scroll down on your questions, it just like jumps a whole complete thing. Amanda says, I wish the supporters could all come together for the common good of supporting justice. Sad we can't. Right. Because there are some people that just think family is going to do what's best for family. And they can't imagine that Carla is just trying to profit herself in some way. Like, so wait till they post the Christmas pictures of, look at this Christmas. Is it going to be Avery family? Well, sure. They're going to drag Dolores there, for the photo op. It's going to be Carla's minions who are going to be there that are profiting off of this. Try to scroll down again. It's not letting me. Why won't it let me scroll down, or am I all the way at the bottom? It won't let me scroll down any farther, even though this says new comments 8. Oh, now it just scrolled a little bit. People replying to each other. Cora says, you originally started the page, yes? No, I did not start Stephen Avery Project. Curtis Bussey started it. Curtis Bussey is somebody who lives in Wisconsin, and he was like in high school when the case originally happened. And so he knew of the case from then and always believed they were innocent. And then when Making a Murderer came out, part 1, he started this page right away. So this is the oldest Making a Murderer Facebook page. And Carla and her minions attacked him horribly for a long time. They tried to destroy his marriage. They did some really ugly, nasty things to Curtis. And so it got to a point of where he was just done. He couldn't deal with that anymore. And he had a young child, and his wife was pregnant with another. And so Curtis wanted to just focus on his young, growing family. And so his moderators at that time suggested that he turn the page over to me. And so that's how that came apart. And those are the same moderators that are still here. So they're the ones that were here when Curtis owned the page. So no, I have had the page for 2 years now. People telling me I'm at the bottom. Thank you very much. So, all right, I've been on for an hour and a half, and I've got these tons of messages and everything. So, oh, and it's 11:30 p.m. at night, my time. So I'm gonna go for now. Maybe I will go live tomorrow, again, to go over this stuff again if people want. But feel free, message me. If you believe in Carla, in what she did, on what she does, and thinks that she's just doing this good stuff for her family, then this isn't the place for you. Oh my God, this is holy long message there. Okay. Wait, there's 2 more people. Christy, there's a man looking in my window. Oops. I just pinned a comment on, so I've never even done that before. I don't know anything about that. That's weird. So I don't even know what comment I pinned because I've never done that before, and that's all weird. So, all right, I'm gonna try and go now and look into all these messages and screenshots I've been sent. Thank you, everybody who's here. And oops, here, I just saw the comment that I could unpin it. And all right, so talk to you all soon if I'm not killed.